This is the Priestcast. I'm Father Adam Ahern. Father Michael Kuchar, how are you?
I am doing great, Father.
Have you recovered from your grand journey?
Well, I have a bit of a bug.
Yeah, so do I. I think I might be allergic to Europe.
Well, it appears that there's something over there that my group, kind of several of them, are not doing as great right now. Little fever going around and some other things. I haven't had a fever yet. I just kind of feel a little strange.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I just kind of feel like just feel a little rough around the edges. A little, not exactly a sore throat, but maybe a dry throat. I don't know how else to put it. I'm kind of a little tired. Maybe just jet lag. But I don't know. I'm sure it'll work itself out.
I am going to be at the Oktoberfest tonight, Father Ahern, at
Nice.
Shelbyville, St. Joseph.
Okay.
Isn't that fantastic?
That should be a
I think
mug full of fun.
A bratwurst will just get me right out of the funk.
Maybe with some sauerkraut on it.
I love me some sauerkraut.
See, you have the most interesting palate of somebody.
I kind of do.
Because there's things that you love that a lot of
people don't.
That most 5-year-olds would hate, and so I just don't understand your palate at all.
Yeah, well, it's a little transcendent, you might say, for you.
It's something.
We had a few baptisms today and
nice.
Some other pieces, but yeah, Father Ahern, you know what are you, anything special today for you?
I was supposed to be on drill this weekend, so I had already arranged for mass coverage for the weekend, but they canceled my drill due to our government not functioning correctly, and so no, I had nothing planned for this weekend. But now I'm here and I have mass coverage, just trying to fill some time. So it's weird. It's a weird situation. I don't know exactly what to do with it because I couldn't exactly cancel the mass coverage that I had arranged. So
no.
So like I couldn't just tell the guy, nope, don't come. So it was kind of like, oh, what do I do with my hands?
You have a little bit of free time.
Yeah. So earlier today I had a committal that came up last minute, and so just kind of, yeah, it's weird. It's a weird situation. So,
Father Ahern, let us discuss paragraphs 36 to 39 of John XXIII's document.
I'm not exactly familiar with those particular paragraphs.
I will familiarize them to you. It is about prayer in the life of St. John Vianney.
Okay.
Listen to this.
I'm listening.
It is not very common in a papal document that you have an explanation mark at the end of a sentence.
No, it's not. It is not.
Let me read you the full sentence. It's kind of long. How timely and how profitable this example of constant prayer on the part of a man completely dedicated to caring for the needs of souls is for our priests in our own day, who are likely to attribute too much to the effectiveness of external activity and stand ready and eager to immerse themselves in the hustle and bustle of the ministry to their own spiritual detriment. Explanation mark. In other words, he is saying that John Vianney offers all priests in our own day. Of course, this is quite a few years ago that Pope John XXIII wrote this in 1959. That's he was already seeing the priests being a little bit too immersed in external activity and less prayerful, and getting sacrificing their prayer life for the hustle and bustle of the ministry, and which is a very I think, important point for us today too, Father Ahern, because if we're not careful, we can fall into the same boat.
Absolutely. It can become more of a, you're doing a job or you're filling a role and you're not really internalizing the ministry that you're doing, right? I mean, like, um, it's it can be great and wonderful to be to be out and about and be seen doing all the great things. But if you're not, if those great things are coming out because, or you're doing them because you think it's what you should be doing, but not because you love the people you're doing it for, or things like that. It's kind of like, it goes back to what our gospel readings have been over the past few weeks or so. Um, all the woe to yous, the when Jesus talking to the scribes and the Pharisees, right? If you're empty tombs, right? If you're not feeding your soul, if you're not
Yes.
actively engaging and have these things within you, then the exterior things don't matter. If you're
Yes.
if you're not alive, if you're not on fire with love of Jesus Christ, and that's what motivates you to do the things you do. If you're doing them because you're a great social warrior or whatever, or you're doing them because you enjoy the group of people that you're doing them for or with, that's not a good thing. You have to be those ministries have to be fed from a spiritual an interior life within you, that comes from a prayer life.
Exactly, because a good prayer life allows the Lord to be operative through you as opposed to you being operative through yourself.
Exactly.
And, um, there's that famous line, I forget, I think it's in Priest of the Third Millennium, and Cardinal Dolan says in there something to the tune of, this priest goes to the bishop and says, I'm quitting the priesthood. And the bishop's first question was, when did you stop praying your breviary?
Yeah.
Because he knew that if you fall away from the prayer, then everything begins to unravel.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are constant in the prayer, then things stay pretty much together. Prayer has that way; it's like a thread, and it kind of keeps things together. And that's just one reason that there's so many things to keep together. It's beyond our control, which is why we need to dedicate time every single day to prayer. And it's detrimental, as the Holy Father says here, to our spiritual life, and the whole church to be just over interested in external activity. He quotes here the Curé of Ars. He says, John Vianney says, this is in paragraph 37, the thing that keeps us priests from growing in sanctity is thoughtlessness, because it annoys us to turn our minds away from external affairs. We don't know what we really ought to do. What we need is deep reflection, together with prayer and an intimate union with God. And in other words, he says Vianney lived contemplatively. His whole life kind of was like an ongoing conversation with God, even in the midst of all the things that he was doing.
It comes back. It's an old question that's sometimes people, you get asked by people, right? Like, um, you what Father, is it okay for me to like drink a coffee while I pray in the morning, or is it okay for things like that? And is it okay for you to do multiple things while you're praying? Like, can you pray and do something else, right? And
Yes.
it becomes like, the question is, okay, like, are you praying while you're drinking your coffee, or are you drinking your coffee while you're praying? right? Like
Yes.
which one is the thing you're doing? And I think, and what made me think about this is I think what John Vianney is talking about, where he was constantly living his life in contemplation of God. He was constantly doing everything else he was doing while he was praying.
Yes.
He was praying while he was doing, like he was doing other things while he was praying. Everything he was doing, his what he was doing all the time was praying. He just happened to be doing other things while he was praying, and like he was having a conversation with this person over here while he was praying. He was, you know what I'm saying? Like everything he was doing was happening while he was praying. He was just in
Yes.
constant prayer with God. He was in constant
And
contemplation with God.
yes, and contemplation and gratitude and petition. Here it says, it quotes Vianney, who said, "We are beggars who must ask God for everything. How many people we can call back to God by means of our prayers." And so here it's like somebody comes and needs something. Well, he started to pray, he begging, like we are beggars for ourselves and for others. And I like that image. We are beggars who must ask God for everything.
Yeah.
And that's how he got to that point where he didn't need to prepare so much the homily, because he just was asking, just ask God, say what you need to say. And guide me through. And I'm sure he was praying as he was preaching, as he was absolving, as he was giving counsel.
Yeah.
His whole life became a life joined to God by means of prayer.
I like that the last line from paragraph 37. It says, the very last quote that they have from St. John Vianney. Even in the midst of tremendous labors, he never let up on his conversation with God.
Yes.
Right? No, everything that he was doing, constantly, he was doing it while he was in conversation with God. And that's we're all called to do that. Not to some extent, we're all called to do that same thing, to
Do you
pray without
notice
ceasing.
that the word conversation and the word conversion are so very similar?
They are very similar words. I wonder what the etymology on that is.
Well, I think
English
the
professor.
concepts are related in that in being in conversation with the Lord, there's conversion for us, that we
Oh
can't
yeah.
really be converted without a
Well,
life
the more we converse, the more we are
joined to God.
converted.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
absolutely. Look at how many people are converted through this podcast.
Oh, they are legion.
Oh, Father Ahern. Yes, they are. Have we got any mailbag yet?
We've gotten a few mailbag questions.
Well, I look forward to it.
It should be a lot of fun.
We will chat tomorrow, Father Ahern.
Sounds
St.
good,
John
brother.
Ahern.
Pray for us.